I've played Battlefront basically my entire life. It was one of my first games on the PlayStation 2, and I'll never forget things like the Rise of the Empire campaign, playing Galactic Conquest as the Republic, and spending hours upon hours trying to attempt deathless runs in the campaign. However, Battlefront has changed identities because the IP has changed handlers. But almost every step along the way, regardless of how many faces come in, how many developers look at this IP, the Battlefront series has faced abandonment twice in over its 20 years of existence. Now, let's be clear, when I say 20 years, that does not mean it's been a yearly release with something like Call of Duty. Far from it. The first Battlefront released in 2004, the second in 2005. The fans were left waiting for over a decade as EA took over the franchise, at least the name of it, and released Battlefront 1 again in 2015, followed by Battlefront 2 in 2017. This game really needs better naming, but that's besides the point. Originally in 2005, after the release of Battlefront 2, there was supposed to be this, a Battlefront 3, a game that would combine the ideas of Battlefront 2 and 1 into one cohesive experience. Being able to do your classic conquest on the ground, but be able to enter a ship on a map, and just like Battlefront 1, but fly up into the air and take on space combat like Battlefront 2's space battles. This would be peak Star Wars. Sorry to go off here, but this would be perfect as a fan who lived and died with these games. That would be probably the best thing that would ever happen in my life to experience. The story of Battlefront 3 seemed a little out there, but so was a lot of Star Wars Legends, so I guess I can give it a pass. However, all of this was scrapped when LucasArts was completely shut down, and Battlefront 3 was dug a nice grave along with all of the other Star Wars titles like the infamous 1313, The Force Unleashed 3, I don't know, maybe Jedi Starfighter 2? Did anyone really play that game? I don't really know. But this abandonment did not leave the game dead. 2005 was a long time ago, but we still see the modding community really trying to make this game theirs. The mod tools were released a long time ago at this point to the public, and I've seen some incredible mods for the original Battlefront 2. Little Spencer also found his source of wanting to make videos, the Clone Apart Battlefront 2 Machinima series. I still love that to this day. It's just about a simple clone being teleported into the future and feels abandoned by everybody around him who has moved on. Funnily enough, it fits with the story of the Battlefront IP. I don't think it meant for that to happen, but there it is. And I recommend anybody watching this to go watch The Clone Apart, even if the series was unfinished. It's a fantastic story, and little Spencer in the second grade was enthralled by it. But besides the community, the Battlefront name was left alone. Just one of those other LucasArts projects that was left in the dust. Just like The Force Unleashed 2, just like 1313. And for so long, people thought it would stay that way. But then EA came in, and they were given exclusive rights to create Star Wars games. In hindsight, we see this as a massive failure, but at the time it seemed like, I guess, an alright move. What was more surprising though was that their first game would be a reboot to the Battlefront series. Battlefront 2015 was certainly a game. It had no single-player experience, solely focusing on the multiplayer, and of the time of the original trilogy. Was it a great game? No, but it did receive a full dev cycle of DLC, new heroes, new maps, new modes. It really seemed like Battlefront was back. And with the rumors of a sequel already in development, fans of the older series may have been discouraged, but at least happy that this IP could become a challenger to something like Call of Duty. Hindsight tells us again that this wasn't true, but let's keep going. Battlefront 2 released in 2017, and let's just say it was not the most well-received game on the market at the time. It had its own problem with content, with the loot boxes, with the incredibly deceptive marketing. this game for about 2 years was completely dead. But DICE never gave up. Over the years, they would end up making more and more content into the game, and where we stand now, it's actually fun. The only problem is that the game is dead. DICE stopped support of the game prematurely. We know this because there is unused dialogue for heroes and some other leaks, and I bet somewhere there's other maps and modes and enforcers we haven't seen. But for the second time in Battlefront's life, the game was abandoned, just as fast as it was brought back to life. And I don't know how to feel about that. It breaks my heart that EA abandoned Battlefront 2. Wasn't my favorite game in the world? No. But it tried to succeed to bring itself back up for controversy, from death. That's no small feat, and the people at DICE should be commended for giving it their all, and creating a game they can actually look at and be proud of. They pulled the plug for Battlefield, and Battlefield hasn't been relevant since Battlefield 1. Battlefield 5 and 2042 were complete flops, and it's hard to think that what could Battlefront have been if they kept doing it. Maybe this is rambling, maybe it's not. But man, they really left Battlefront out to dry. With Battlefront 3 seemingly being completely shot down, us fans can only wait as our favorite IP withers and dies out yet again. But at least we'll be remembered on a good note. At least we'll be remembered for what the community has put together, what the community has accomplished, and what the community helped a developer create, which was a better game. I want Battlefront 3 2020 whatever. I wanted Battlefront 3 in 2006, and I didn't get it. But at least now I may have a sliver of a chance. And maybe what I'm asking for isn't going to be what I get. And maybe that's okay. Because somebody else can experience this incredible IP, like I did when I was a kid. Don't let this franchise be abandoned, because it has so much more to give. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider checking out some of my other stuff. Thank you so much.